what do you think about the assassination attempt?
Bro, did you hear it might have been glass instead, like sharp, like?
That's not true. That's
Yeah,
not
it's
true. One of the stupid guys that was getting interviewed by the Senate said, "Oh, it might have
I
been
saw that,
a piece of glass projectile. We're not sure that it was a bullet." Okay,
Dude, they're so
and
slick,
then
man.
and then the freaking director or somebody else high up in the FBI was like, "No, we are positive it's a bullet. It was not a piece of shrapnel."
Yeah,
But the reason they're
beautiful.
doing this is because all they're trying to do is flood
Yes.
media
Yes.
with as
Exactly.
much just chaos, everything,
Exactly.
everything.
Exactly.
So that
Confusion.
no matter
Obama said
what,
it.
no matter what you look at, no matter what you Google, was it a bullet? No, it wasn't. It was a piece of shrapnel, according to the FBI.
Right.
But then you're like, hold on. FBI director says, it is a bullet. So both people are going to be like, look, the internet says
right.
it wasn't, and it was. And you're like,
Right.
what's right?
To me, I believe, and I believe this is all a show. I believe everything that's happening in the political system in America is just a show. Now, how this all went about with, this guy, because now they're saying that he had like MK Ultra training and stuff. Like
Yeah.
I'm reading this stuff.
Oh, well, you know where that comes from, right?
Hmm.
Did you see that somebody got a Freedom of Information Act or paid for data from cellular towers around the kid's house? And they found that there was a repeated visitor from the FBI headquarters in that region to his house repeatedly.
Wow.
So people are like, what the heck what was the FBI guy doing there?
Yeah.
And who is this guy?
Yeah.
I
mean, that's enough right there. If that's true, right there, that's enough to be like, okay. Now, the question is, I had a buddy that was like, but do you think Trump was in on it?
Oh, for sure. A
Right?
lot of that.
That's a tough question because, like, as much as I want to like tag Trump in all this, and because of the warp speed stuff, that got me at warp speed. I was like, I was done.
Yeah.
That was the moment that I'm like, okay, he's part of the system. Back then, but for him to be a part of all this, if this is part of the show, it's a really good show. Like they're doing a really, really
it's a
good
great
job.
show. You would have to think, okay, if you want to make the argument that Trump was in on it, you'd have to say that he knew he was going to get shot at some point, right? And that somehow he was notified and the shooter was notified for Trump to go.
Right. I mean, that to me, that's too difficult for me to believe.
He puts his life in the hands of that kid on that tower, or I'm sorry, on that rooftop, or somebody in the tower, because there's the tower theory, right? There's some shadowy figure on a tower hundreds of yards away, and Trump puts his life in the hands of either of those two people, and this is the move.
Right. That's why I can't believe that.
Me neither. I don't think he was in on it. And for me, the wildest part about all of this is, like you're saying, we're watching a show, right? For me, the world feels like a reality TV show. Nothing that's happening really affects me. I'm just like, oh, that's crazy. Of course that would happen. Just like if I'm watching a movie,
right,
and
there's
some
just
shit goes down, and I'm like, oh yeah, of course, yeah, I can see how that.
Like, wow, that was entertaining.
Great storyline.
You're right.
But nothing really sits it doesn't resonate to where I'm like, oh my God, they tried to kill this guy.
Yeah.
Bro, we almost woke up to a different planet, to a different world. What do you think the world would be like right now if Trump was freaking killed?
Dude, that's a great question.
But there's so much going on, bro. Even the hearings over what happened and who's responsible, and you know what I'm saying? That's overshadowing the fact that somebody tried to kill this fool,
right?
And that we almost woke up to chaos. Chaos. Who'd be the nominee right now for Republicans? Who do you think they'd put in? Do you think anybody would vote for that guy? Do you think any Republicans would be like, oh yeah, this is the guy that I would want instead of Trump. Heck no. They would think
there's no one even close.
They would think it's a plant. They would think that it's somebody that the machine wants to be on the Republican ticket.
There's nobody that they even like came
nobody
close.
would
Nobody
trust
came
it.
close.
Nobody would trust it. Dennis, the elections would be null and void. Nobody would trust elections. Nobody would care who the candidates are. Bro, it would be chaos. And it's all over this.
I know. That's the thing. If it was like different, you know, like he got shot in the shoulder or like an arm, I could go with this is he all planned for sure. But this, I can't get over that. They can't be that good because they mess up on all this other stuff, right? Everything. Like with him getting onto the rooftop and all this stuff. Like, come on, it's so stupid.
It's so stupid. It's so obvious.
Right.
It's so obvious. But here's the thing. They don't give a crap how obvious it was. At least they used to try to hide stuff.
That's so true.
They used to try. But now they know that they could just blast so much chaos and information and misinformation and opposing information. You know what I mean? That our brains, we don't even know what reality is anymore. I heard this one guy refer to it as a buffet of reality. You can literally pick and choose what reality you want to live in and what facts you want.
So what I think with that, because I believe that that's happening and it's only going to continue. The confusion, the division is going to continue. And social media was is the catalyst to all this. It's because we all have access to these things and we don't really have control. We say the algorithms because of what you click on, it brings you more stuff, which I believe to a certain degree, but there's also like, they're controlling it. So they tell us what they want us to see, right?
They were censoring the freaking assassination story.
On Google, right? With
Google, even, Facebook, Instagram.
Elon Musk said this, right? Like, so like so they're allowing certain things to come through and certain things not to come through. So they're still in control of that. Now, I believe that all of this is happening because this is the way to deceive people, to get them confused. Didn't Barack Obama say this? And some, you know, when he was president, he said that this is how you control a nation. You get so much confusion in there's a video
in
on
the public sphere, public
or
space.
Square or something. Yeah. And that so much confusion, right? And I don't know what he says after that, like too much of it, but I remember this. I remember I watched it a few times, and it's been a while. But I believe that this is the tactic of the enemy, is to confuse so much that you don't know what's true anymore, and that you can't identify truth, right?
For sure.
Now, I believe that because what does the Bible say about the Holy Spirit? He guides us into what? Into all truth. And that's why it's so important to, read your Bibles, to be walking in the Spirit of God, because that's the only way you can discern truth. I don't think you can do it without the Holy Spirit. I think up to a certain degree you could have, or you can still, but I really, 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 really believe as the darkness even falls even more and more in this world, that the only way we will be able to see and navigate through this is by the enlightening of the Holy Spirit in our minds and our hearts. I really, really believe that, man. Yeah. And it's sad because I see this all around me, where people are just so oblivious to what's really happening in this world, and they're getting caught up in the political thing. They're getting caught up in the Olympic thing. There's just everything is so like, what's the word? There's a word.
Polemic?
Maybe. Polemic might actually fit. I think it does.
No.
There's a word where two things become so not bipolar, but it's
bifurcated.
This. No. It's right there. Help me out. I wish we were doing live because people like totally type it in. Man, hey, we gotta do a live one day. We never done a live yet.
We should do a live.
We should do it just before you move.
Yeah,
just try it out.
Move.
Let's just do it, and we'll just talk. We'll just do this.
Yeah, we'll just do this.
That'd be so much fun. Oh, because we could have gotten a good, feedback on the Moses thing on live.
On YouTube?
Probably Instagram.
Whoa. People are going to come in and yell at me.
No, they forgot about all that stuff.
I need to ban some people.
Nah, don't do that.
There's some trolls that I'm just like, you guys are wasting my time.
Yeah, is it that bad? I don't look at the comments.
It's
Ben.
pretty bad.
Is it really? Are you getting your feelings hurt, Ben? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Hanging in there, buddy?
Yeah.
Is that where you're moving to the?
Yeah.
Some mountains, guys.
I don't need
Hey,
any I don't
people,
want service.
You know,
wait till you take over, Dennis. Just you wait.
Bro,
I respond to
this is gonna burn
everything.
after I take it over.
I respond to everything.
Oh man, I can't do that.
Yeah, you can. You have a lot of time now.
Well, I do have a lot of time now. We do it from the beach.
Yeah.
Ben, I love you, and I'm so happy that you're in my life. And sorry for getting mushy right there at the end, but it's good to be friends with you because I missed you, man. And
why are you gay?
You know, a little bit right now for you. And I think this was a really great night. I'm so happy we did this.
This was a great hang.
It was a great hang. I laughed a lot, and we disagreed. There was tears, there was laughter, there was joy, there was sadness, there was drama, there was questions. You know,
what a show! What a show!
Beautiful. Well done, Ben.
I wonder if anybody is actually going to watch this till the end.
Well, if
you watch this till the end, write down in the comments. I watched this till the end.
And we'll send you a beanie. We'll send you the beanie. Hey, winter's coming. That's
winter's coming. Yeah, we'll send you a beanie.
A dark winter. Like Biden said. Hey, is Biden alive?
Nah, bro. Didn't you see freaking Skeletor come out? That was like half a foot taller than...
Dude, I saw that. That's nuts. I mean, come on. They can't be that bad. Do you think he's alive?
They don't care. They don't need to do things
wild. Isn't that wild?
There's no repercussion. They can do and get away with anything. They don't have to try. There's no consequences. What are you going to do about it? Biden's a foot taller. What are you going to do about it? Nothing.
So
we shot homeboy in the ear. What are you going to do about it?
No one's even talking about it anymore. They're talking about
Nothing.
The Olympics.
The Olympics. Hey guys, the Olympics.
And what's next? No one's talking about Ukraine anymore.
Nothing.
No one's talking about the
border.
You're
not going to do nothing.
No one's talking about. It's a new thing. It's a new whoa. It's shiny penny syndrome. A new one every time.
It's not even lazy. They're just conserving energy because they don't have to give that much attention to covering up anything.
They're laughing at us.
We're a joke. We're a joke. That's how
it's all a joke.
That's how stupid we are. And everybody's just like, on to the next shiny thing, you know? Bro. And we almost woke up. We were an inch away from waking up in like chaos.
What would have been like? Do you think it would have been really okay? Do you think the right would have like really like stood up and like would there have been a call to arms?
No. Nobody would have done anything. Nobody would have done anything.
I highly agree with you.
If you are in America and you still have that sense of like freedom, patriotism, you know, it's gonna work out. How'd that go for you? 6 years. How's it going? Right?
Yeah.
Trump was in. COVID went down. People are still in prison without a jury trial, without anything. Right. Solitary. They've been in prison for almost since January 6th. Right. They've been in prison. No trial. No trial. How's it going? What did anybody stand up for anything?
No.
What'd you do? You waved a flag in the street? Okay, cool. Right. No, Americans are fat, comfortable, dependent. Okay?
Yeah.
If you threaten their job, they're going to put experimental chemicals in their butts. I don't know if that's where the shot went. I wouldn't know. But then they'll go and do it 4 more times.
Yeah, I know.
Okay?
Yeah.
All you have to do is threaten your job.
Bro, they're injecting something in their bodies because their job is threatened.
Exactly.
Do you understand that mentality, bro?
Yeah.
Like how far gone the majority of this
world is. I got bills.
Not just America, this world.
Go get stuff in your butt.
Except Poland. I think Poland's doing pretty good. Probably moved to Poland.
Hungary, I think, is also doing good. But that's America, bro. That's America. And they're dependent. I think that's the biggest thing. More than fear, more than comfort, more than fat and lazy. It's dependent. They're dependent on the system.
Sure.
Because if you don't get stuff in your butt, chemicals in your butt, then you can't pay your mortgage. Your kids can't eat.
Right.
You're not growing food. You didn't build a house in the woods. You didn't.
Right.
Everything that you own is indebted to the bank, and they will pillage you. They will come in and steal everything from you because that's the freaking system.
Right.
So line up and get chemicals in your butt. And shut up. Don't do anything about it. Complain about it on the internet.
Yeah, that's fine.
America! America! You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's all we've boiled down to. Nobody's coming to save you. People are not going to rise up and do jack crap. When I said that we would have woken up to a different America, a different world entirely, okay? What I mean is there would be no elections.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? There's no elections.
Right.
If Trump's not in there, whoever is a psyop. They're part of the system.
Guaranteed.
Okay? Guaranteed. Nobody would trust the outcome of the election. Nobody will anyway. But try putting somebody else in forcibly because you just killed homeboy, right?
Yeah.
So that's
there's
what
no
I mean.
way Kamala can win this election. She probably will.
There's plenty of ways that she could win.
No, what I'm saying is like in a real election, there's no way. In a real election, there's no way.
No.
There's no way Biden would have won.
Everybody hates her.
There's no way Biden would have won.
It's crazy. And nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change.
No.
Don't be. No. I'm not trying to be pessimistic. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I'm being realistic.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody did anything the entire time. Listen, Trump didn't do anything. Realistically, tell me one thing in your life right now that is any better as a result of Trump's presidency.
Nothing. There was that 4 years with a little bit lower gas and
right now.
No, nothing. It's worse.
The only thing you could say is Supreme Court, which is great. That's huge.
Yeah.
Okay. That's huge.
And with the whole abortion thing, right? They overturned
that was
Roe v.
Supreme
Wade.
Court. That had nothing to do with Trump.
Right. Supreme
Court. What I'm saying is, those are that's the only thing that affects our life today positively.
Sure.
As a result of Trump's presidency.
Yeah, I agree.
Is that he got the Supreme Court folks in there.
Yeah.
No border wall. No freaking swamp clearing.
No.
Nothing. Nothing. That's residual. That's ongoing.
Right.
You know what's ongoing? Warp speed, baby.
Yeah.
Chemicals in your butt.
Yeah, and our food and everything else. Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, in particular, that's
sure.
one thing he passed that still has effect in our lives today.
That's why they needed him.
Probably.
I think they needed him because I don't think it would have happened in the way it did. I don't think it would have gained as much traction to Warp Speed under Hillary. I don't think I don't think that the right would have accepted what Hillary. It still would have made a huge dent, but not as much. I think that they needed Trump because that's the only way that you can get the right to really get Jack.
I don't think he was like in on it. I don't think he knew what he was doing. I just think he trusted the people around him. He's not a medical expert. He's not a medical expert.
He still doesn't denounce Fauci, does he?
He denounces Fauci, but he still touts Warp Speed as a success.
Yeah, see.
Which to me is a problem.
Yeah. Huge problem for me too.
So all I'm saying is,
and by now he should know. Come on,
of course
he
should know.
By now he should freaking know.
People at his rallies, when he brought up Warp Speed, people at his rallies would boo.
Yeah.
Okay. But the thing is, outside of Supreme Court, nothing positive. We have Warp Speed, which is a negative, and we have the division.
Oh, more than ever, yeah.
All right. Listen, Republicans didn't like Obama for 8 years, right?
Right.
The country was not this divided.
No.
This divided. He's been the catalyst for the bifurcation of this nation.
For sure.
And listen, there's no going back. This has been happening for 8 years.
Yeah.
8 years that the media has been like, Trump, Satan, Nazis, conservatives, evil, gay, everybody, trans, everybody.
Yeah.
It's been this past 8 years. It's been full on. It's been Warp Speed, right? It's been Warp freaking Speed for the past 8 years. There's kids that were 10 years old when Trump got elected, right? They're 18.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right.
They're voting. And it's been Trump is Hitler. literally Hitler, all conservatives are Nazis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude,
That's in
you're
their
right.
brain.
That's
And
the
they're
school
entering
system.
college
Yeah.
and they're entering the voting booths. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
That's a great point.
So there's no kumbayaing. There's no going back. What do you think, like literally as an American, even if Trump wins, cool. All right. What are we going to get? Gas prices go down? Like what's going to happen? What is going to happen? What needs to happen in this country for my neighbor that's flying like a trans flag, right? And me to be, we're friendly, by the way, but I'm just saying hypothetically, for us to like come together in the streets and be like, America's the best.
Right.
What would it take?
The Antichrist.
Dude, listen, maybe, but you might say a war. Like, if we go to war, that usually unites.
Yeah, but
it's
got to be against like Russia.
We're already at war against Russia.
Yeah,
we're not united.
Proxy war with that.
Well, hot war. We got to start like drafting and stuff like that.
China, Russia. Yeah.
Dennis, most of these people they would be happy that America is collapsing, Americans being killed.
Oh, for
sure. They would be happy because they hate this country.
Right.
So what the hell would it take to unify people in this country? Who could do that? You think a president can do that? How are you going to undo 8 years of like the psychosis that you've worked into people's heads, that you've spiraled them up?
Definitely not in this state that we're in. It's got to be, I think that the only way is if like both sides are so sick and tired. And I see that too, like even on the right, like, and on the left, you see it both happening. You see these segments of people that are coming out of the left and the right that are just like, all of this is bullshit, right? Like, so like and I think that I think there are some people that are coming to an agreement of like, okay, this is all fake. This is all a show.
For sure. There's a lot of people like that in the middle. Okay. Left and right, but more, we're gravitating towards the center. There's still psychopaths on the outskirts, right?
Yeah.
But, okay, it's all bullshit. Cool. A lot of people agree to that.
Yeah.
Do you think that the people in power with the system at their fingertips are like, oh no.
Oh, they're not scared at all.
They don't believe us anymore. We should leave. No. They're going to do whatever it takes.
Sure.
To keep us squashed.
And whatever it takes is going to be really scary. Like the more, because the more people that do become center and do start to agree, then they're going to get stronger and they're going to get more heat on the situation, right? They're going to put more gas on the fire, right? Already, whether it's race or health stuff.
Dennis, they shot Trump.
Right.
On TV.
Which is so gnarly.
You think they give a shit?
No,
they don't give a what?
Well, they didn't care with JFK, right? So they didn't care with, so
do you think they cared about the consequences? Do you think they were scared of the consequences?
No.
If Trump didn't,
they already did the analysis on both sides.
For sure.
What would happen if, he lived or if he didn't or what? They already ran those numbers,
they're ready.
Right?
They're ready.
Yeah.
They're not pulling the trigger. Plan B for him. They have a plan B for Trump. Okay. And if they were successful, how much do you want to bet if they were successful? There would have been some PSYOP CIA operatives that went and blew up a building, maybe shot some places up, all under the conservative flag.
Right.
And they'd be like, the powers that be, the system in place would be like, oh my God, the conservatives are rising up. This is civil war. We need martial law. We need to clamp down. We need to, you see what I'm saying? I bet you they would have tried to use Trump's death to go after his followers because they would have false flagged some shit. You know what I'm saying? Under the guise of conservatives and Trump supporters that are outraged.
Right.
Maybe some governors get capped. Who knows? Something big would have happened, and we would have been blamed.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
Because they would need to consolidate power. They need to squash what's going on. And they are not worried about the consequences.
No, they're not. No.
Because they're blatant. Bro, it's a kid, 20 years old with a freaking ladder.
I know. It's
a ladder
so
and
ridiculous
a rifle
how that whole thing went down. And to get that accurate, to like actually get to his head, like that's just crazy.
They don't even care. They don't even care. They're literally like, oh yeah, just get that one kid that we've been talking to. Just give him a ladder. I don't know. What's the plan? Just give him a ladder and a gun. Put him on the roof.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Just say no, we didn't know. Sorry, it was an accident. We messed up. Dude. Just put him on the tell him to take the shot. Like, who cares? Nothing's gonna happen to us. We're safe. We're safe. There's no consequences. What are you gonna do about it?
But that just tells you, man, like how far gone we are as a nation.